Hello everyone. The topic is discharge of contract under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Here go with the meaning part. Meaning of discharge of contract. When the rights and obligations arising out of a contract comes to an end and then the contract is said to be discharged or terminated. When the obligations of the parties, that is both the parties of the contract, comes to an end formally, then the contract is said to be discharged or terminated. Example for this: when termination of an employment is supposed to be a contract between the employer and an employee, and when the employer terminates the employee for any reason which is lawful, then automatically one of the obligations from the employer comes to an end, and therefore the agreement between the employer and the employee gets discharged. A contract may be discharged in many ways. Some of the following ways are listed here. First one, discharged by performance. Performance may be actual, or offer of performance or tender can be the same. The second one is discharged by agreement. Unlike the first one, when the performance from the parties of the contract comes to an end, automatically agreement gets discharged. But the second one is discharged by agreement. The performance of the parties may not be considered, rather we have an agreement for an discharge itself. The first type is novation. Novation means replacement of an existing contract by another contract. Novation literally means replacement. One existing contract may be replaced by another contract where parties to the contract may change, but terms of the contract remain similar. I repeat, novation means replacement of an existing contract by another contract, wherein the parties to the contract may change and the terms of the contract may also change. The second type is alteration. Alteration takes place when one or more of the terms of the contract are changed, where parties remain same, that is, parties to the contract remain same, but the terms of the contract will change. Since the terms of the contract may be altered, for example, the time duration of the contract or the money part or consideration, really, if that is the change, then that accounts to alteration. The third one is rescission. Rescission means cancellation of contract by mutual consent. Literally, rescission means cancellation where both the parties to the contract with their mutual consent discharges the contract, and that should happen before the performance will happen. That is, when the contractees of the parties, like two parties out to the contract, before they perform, they have to come to a mutual consent and discharge the contract, and then it becomes rescission. Once rescission is done, it releases the parties from their obligations. Both the parties to the contract will be released or relieved from obligation. Fourth one, remission. It means the acceptance of lesser sum than what was due from the promisor. Usually, remission means remitting some amount to some person. So here in the contract, one person, that is the promisor and the promisee, accepts for a lesser amount which is due in the means of consideration. That becomes remission. Remit or give up the whole or part of a debt. For example, Mr. A supposed to pay 20,000 rupees to Mr. B. In this case, consideration amount is 20,000 rupees. But if A requests B to accept for a lesser amount at that particular time, maybe Mr. A will pay only 10,000 at that particular time, and the contract may be discharged for a lesser amount, and in that case it becomes remission. Extend the time for performance. Suppose in the example which I said before, if 10,000 is paid in the first installment and 10,000 will be paid in the next maybe few days or few months later, and in that case remission will hold good for the contract. When we talk about agreement by impossibility, discharge of contract by impossibility, we have two things. Initial impossibility. According to section 56, an agreement to do impossible act is void ab initio. That means when a party to the contract get into a contract to do certain acts which is absolutely impossible, and in that case that becomes initial impossibility. Do a magic and get the treasure out of a mud or out of sand. It's something which is vague and which is really not possible, and in that case it becomes initial impossibility. The second one is subsequent impossibility. Sometimes a contract may be capable in the beginning, but it becomes impossible or unlawful for a particular reason or for a specified reason, which results as a void agreement. So when we talk about subsequent illegality, what is subsequent illegality, or what are the types of subsequent illegality? The first one is destruction of subject matter. Subsequent illegality is the contract may become illegal subsequently. Initially it may be legal, but later subsequently it becomes illegal. How? Destruction of subject matter. What is the subject matter of the contract may be destroyed or may be destructed either from one particular party or any of the reasons, which results in discharge of a contract because the subject matter itself will not be in the position to reach the promisor. Second, deed or personal incapacity. When the promisor reaches, or when the promisor has no skills or whichever is very much capabilities, the qualification or the existence, whatever, either of the party, that is promisor or a promisee, if that is incapable, if that it becomes incapable, then the contract may be discharged because of personal incapacity. Mr. A and Mr. B are the two parties to the contract, and in this case, if Mr. A becomes insane or Mr. A expires due to an accident, and in that case it becomes absolutely incapable for a person to continue the contract. Initially it is legal, but when the person becomes incapable, then it becomes subsequent illegality. The third one is change of law. For subsequent illegality, initially the law may permit a contract to continue, but later, when because of some situations or certain laws or amendments made later, change of law will come into effect, and that contract becomes illegal or not lawful subsequently. Or the fourth one is declaration of war. A contract entered into within an alien enemy during war is illegal and void ab initio. Alien enemy is supposed to be the country, or the party to the contract may not be the lawful person to get into the contract. For an example, because of this coronavirus effect currently, maybe getting into contracts with China, getting into contracts with Iraq, Iran could be not officially rendered or if there is a war declared any time between India and Pakistan, possibly the rule may not be applicable. The fourth main point is discharge by lapse of time. What is discharge by lapse of time? The contract period may be lapsed and therefore the contract must come to a closure. If a contract is between the parties to the contract for 2 years, automatically after the second year or after the 2 years, the contract comes into end, and that is discharge by lapse of time. What is lapse here? Completion of a particular period may not be sufficiently accepted, and in that case, if a specified period is not registered, in between it becomes lapsed. The Limitation Act 1908 lays down that a contract should be performed within a specified period. If the contract is not performed, and no legal action can be taken if the party do not raise any objection. As I told you in the example, a contract is for 2 years, and in this 2 years, suppose Mr. A has to pay 50,000 rupees by the time of second year, and if that person do not pay the 20,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees to Mr. B during the course of time, even after 2 years, if Mr. B doesn't raise any objection, doesn't go to the law for claiming his money, then the deprived person, that is Mr. B, also cannot raise for any remedy because that is discharged by lapse of time. For 2 years, the contract gets void completely. Even if he doesn't pay at that particular time, if Mr. B, that's the second party, do not aim for any reflection, then that may not be applicable. Discharge by operation of law. What is discharge by operation of law? When we talk about operation of law, the court or the legal aspects come into the picture and takes into the custody, and therefore they pass a legislation to start something here. Discharge by operation of law. Suppose the court has to intervene between the parties to the contract or between the contractual obligations and stand on its stay, then discharge by operation law is given to. Out of that, the first one is insolvency. If one of the party to the contract is declared insolvent or is justifiably called insolvent, then the court of law will intervene, that is operation of law will be intervened, and that contract will be discharged. The second one is merger. When two companies merges together for a particular reason, and in that case automatically one contract will come to an end, another new contract will come into the picture. In this, when the merger or any amalgamation or any acquisitions comes into the picture, possibly the court of law will intervene and operation of law is conducted. The third one is unauthorized material alteration. Suppose if there are any unauthorized material alterations in the contract without the consent of the parties to the contract, in that order, operation of law must be taken into way. What is material alteration? Material alterations are many things and ways, but coming close to the Contract Act, any alterations, any changes in the terms of the contract or in the consideration part without the consent of the parties to the contract is called material alteration. Material alteration in banking terms has a different meaning, in legal terms has a different meaning, but when it comes to the contractual obligations of two parties, as per the Indian Contract Act, unauthorized, that is the parties to the contract, two people or more people, whoever is there as the parties to the contract, must be authorized and permissible to know the terms of the contract. If one of the party to the contract unauthorizingly changes anything or alters anything without the consent of another person, then discharge by operation of law will be accepted. The sixth main one is discharge by breach of contract. What is breach of contract? Breach of contract is when one of the party to the contract fails to accept the promise or fails to do his performance is called breach of contract. Mr. P and Mr. S comes into the contract for a mutual understanding for buying a scooter from Mr. P agrees to buy scooter from Mr. S for rupees 1 lakh. This is a basic contract. But when Mr. P agrees to buy the scooter from Mr. S, but may not be readily paying 1 lakh rupees at that particular point, what happens? Then contract may not be completed just because by failing to the promise. Initially, Mr. P promises to pay 1 lakh rupee, but later he may not pay the complete amount, or he may deny to pay the complete amount later. And in that case, it is called breach of contract. In that, the first one is actual breach. It occurs when a party fails to perform a contract. As I said in the example, if one party to the contract fails to perform, then automatically that is breach of contract actually. Then the discharge of contract will come into the line. The second one is anticipatory breach. An anticipatory breach of contract occurs before the time fixed for performance has arrived. That means anticipatory is something which you do previous to your performance. So I am supposed to perform a dance function on 24th April as per the promise or as per the contractual agreement, but I may not be able to go out because of the lockdown and what lockdown situations today, and therefore whatever the events which I am supposed to do later also, I will I will fail to do that, I know well in advance. So this is called anticipatory breach. In this case, we have express breach and implied breach. Express breach is I will express my failure terms, like I will express to another party that I will not be able to perform the contractual obligation because of so and so reason. When I express this, it becomes express breach. Second one, it becomes implied. I may not express, but it becomes implied. So now I given you an example saying that Mr. S is supposed to attend, or Mr. S is a dancer who gives concerts in the events or something like that. His dates are booked for almost 6 months, and a very important event should happen on 24th April 2020 in Bangalore, and already the event managers have paid the money to the dancer. But in the present situation, due to this coronavirus or COVID-19, the entire India, because of central government's decision, is locked down. We are going through a lockdown procedure. We will not be able to take up any dance shows or concerts or anything. And in this situation, it is understood that the dancer cannot perform on 24th April. It's implied. The failure by another person can be both expressed and implied, or either of it may be taken into consideration. I hope things are clear. Thank you.